Rockies taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates for the first time in 2020, making our way through the NL Central clubs. Rockies have already seen the Reds, the Cardinals, and the Brewers this year. Pirates are performing quite well. They are right now in postseason contention towards the top of the wild card standings. Evan Grills is going to make the start for the Rockies today. He's been very good in his first two big league starts. 2-0, 1.38 ERA. Has yet to walk a single batter. Finally gave up his first runs of his career in the middle innings of his last start against the Dodgers, but he has been very good and has really been key for this rotation, a calming presence. Kevin Newman will lead things off. He's playing second base today. Grills into his motion windup, and the first pitch of the game is taken inside, ball one. Rockies at 28-40, our last place in the NL West, had a big win over the Diamondbacks yesterday. Offense really came to life, and it was from a lot of the bottom of the order players. It was Trevor Story and Ryan McMahon hit home runs, but so did Garrett Hampson and Elias Diaz. There's a pitch high and away, 2-0. Well, 55 degrees under mostly clear skies. Winds are light, but blowing out to right field right now. Two-0 delivery is swung on and fouled out of play. So the big news for the Pirates this offseason was that they traded away their best player, arguably best player, Starling Marte. There's a line drive on a hop to the first baseman. Let's take a look at the starting lineup now for the Pirates. After Newman, Adam Frazier bats second in left field. Batting third, the center fielder Brian Reynolds. Batting cleanup in right field, Gregory Polanco. Batting fifth at third base, Colin Moran. Cole Tucker's at short, batting sixth. Catcher Jacob Stallings is batting seventh, and the first baseman Luke Maley is going to bat eighth. Mitch Keller is the starting pitcher today. Adam Frazier having quite a year. Fourth place in the National League with his batting average at the .340 mark. Lefty-on-lefty matchup for Grills. First pitch is swung on and lined right into the glove of the third baseman Arenado for out number two. And Brian Reynolds, today's center fielder, will be the batter. 46 runs batted in. That leads the Pirates. 311, 10 home runs, a .373 on base percentage. Lots of offense from the top of the order for the Pirates. First pitch here is taken down and in. We saw Starling Marte, the former Pirate. We've seen him a few times this year after he was traded over to the Diamondbacks. There's a strike, 1-1. Pirates certainly seem intent on cutting payroll, and they are one of the teams that has made more of an explicit desire to do so than probably any other. Last in payroll now. There's a pitch low, and it's a hitter's count on Brian Reynolds, but Pirates have certainly performed better than expectations so far in our simulated 2020 season. Well, this is Ben Kuchner-Kavich of Purple Row along with you. I want to let you know this game is not affiliated with Major League Baseball, MLB The Show 20, or the Colorado Rockies. That pitch is going to be called a ball, and it's 3-1. Gregory Polanco still around with the Pirates, one of the remaining outfielders for a few seasons now, quite a few seasons. He's waiting on deck. That one's low, ball four, and that is the first walk given up in the career of Evan Grills. And those two pitches were extremely close. I'll bring up Gregory Polanco. Batting above 300 as the top of the order continues to get it done for the Pirates. Another lefty-on-lefty matchup for Grills. First pitch is swung on and grounded towards second base. McMahon up with the ball, throws to first, and that'll retire the side. Rockies will try to continue the offensive explosion from yesterday's ball game against the D-backs, heading to the bottom of the first. Mitch Keller making his 14th start of the year. He's struggled a bit. 54 innings, 56 strikeouts, 23 walks. Has allowed a whopping 76 hits. Good for a 183 whip. He is 3-6 on the year. And And he will try to get things going against a Rockies offense that really over the last week and a half has struggled, but exploded for 12 runs in yesterday's ballgame. Charlie Blackmon batting .285 on the year. He will lead things off against the right-handed Keller. First pitch to Blackmon is taken for a strike on the outside corner. Right now, tied for first place in the NL Central are the Pirates. They have a 42-26 record. Tied with the Brewers and the Reds. Three-way tie right now for the NL Central lead. Cardinals and Cubs are kind of distancing themselves there. Quickly 0-2 on Blackmon after he fouls one off. And the 0-2 pitch is taken low and away.
Count is 1-2.
So Rockies also participated in the draft. We'll talk about their first two picks from Wednesday evening. A little bit later on, there's a check swing. Appeal to third. Blackmon did not go. Count evens at 2. And that one's low. Full count now. Trevor Story waiting on deck as Blackmon has worked the count from 0-2 to 3-2. And the payoff pitch is inside. Ball 4. He walked in. Leadoff walk for Charlie Blackmon here in the bottom of the first inning. And Rockies will try to get things going early. Take a look at this impressive plate appearance by Charlie Blackmon. And Trevor Story, 344 average against lefties, 218 against righties, though he has certainly hit for power against right-handed pitching, 11 home runs, 16 overall, hit his 16th in yesterday's ballgame. Rockies won the final game of that series to avoid the sweep against the Diamondbacks. First pitch to Story is low, ball 1. Scoring was opened with a 2-run shot from Elias Diaz, then quickly, Trevor Story added a 2-run home run of his own. There's a swing and a miss, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Keller. Keller comes set. His 1-1 is swung on and skied toward shallow center. Coming in on this one is Reynolds. He'll get there to make the catch. Look at the rest of the lineup for the Rockies. Saw Blackmon and Story. Batting third, the third baseman Nolan Arenado. Batting cleanup, the second baseman Ryan McMahon. Daniel Murphy at first base batting fifth. Batting sixth, the center fielder Garrett Hampson. He's on a real hot stretch right now. In left field batting seventh, David Dahl. And the catcher Elias Diaz will bat eighth. Nolan Arenado, 321 on the year, 19 homers, 47 runs driven in, a .623 slugging percentage. Leads the National League in all third basemen for the All-Star voting right now. Hoping actual baseball gets underway before we broadcast a simulated All-Star game for you, though that would be fun. But the talks continue between Major League Baseball and the MLBPA. 0-1 pitch to Arenado is swung on and grounded up the middle into center field, a base hit. Couple Rockies aboard with 1 out now. Ryan McMahon will be the batter. Had a 3-run home run in yesterday's ball game. First pitch from Keller here is taken for a strike. The 0-1 is going to miss low. Keller looks over towards second base. His 1-1 delivery is swung on and lined into left field, a base hit. Blackmon will be waved around third, and the throw to the plate will not be in time. And the Rockies take a 1-0 lead on an RBI single for Ryan McMahon. Nice piece of opposite field hitting for the Rockies second baseman. Charlie Blackmon coming around to score. And Daniel Murphy will bat, getting his first start in a few days now. First pitch is swung on and fouled out of play. Murphy is hitting much better against right-handed pitching than lefties, batting a little over the 275 mark against righties. 245 overall for Murphy. So he's found himself in a bit of a platoon situation right now with Josh Fuentes. His line drive pulled foul, quickly 0-2 on Murphy, though Fuentes has not necessarily been hitting all that well himself. Much smaller sample, though, for Fuentes. Time for him to figure things out. He hasn't looked completely overmatched. Though Fuentes was the only Rocky who started yesterday's ballgame to not get on base. And that includes the starting pitcher Chichi Gonzalez, who yesterday hit his first major league home run off Robbie Ray. There's a swing and a ground ball hit towards first base. It'll be a 3-6-3 double play. And that'll retire the side, but not before the Rockies take a 1-0 lead thanks to Ryan McMahon. 5, 6, 7 hitters due up against Evan Grills in the second. Colin Moran, 213 on the year. Couple home runs for the Pirates' third baseman. Lefty Grills into his motion. First pitch is taken for a strike at the knees. Grills walked the first batter of his career in his third start, back in the first inning with 2 outs. The pitch is going to miss low and away. Swung on and skied towards left field, going back on this one is Dahl. He'll get there and make the catch for out number 1. Looking at the Rockies defense, you saw Dahl squeeze that one. In center field, it's Garrett Hampson, and right, it's Charlie Blackmon. On the infield corners, Nolan Arenado and Daniel Murphy. The middle double play combination, Trevor Story and Ryan McMahon, and the battery consists of Elias Diaz, the catcher, and Evan Grills, the starting pitcher. Garrett Hampson, he's hitting .297 now, on base percentage of .392, and is slugging .500. So we had to look at Cole Tucker, the shortstop for the Pirates. He's hitting .265, .348 on base, yet to hit his first home run of the year. But Garrett Hampson has really solidified himself, and he's earned everyday playing time in center field. That's hit off of Grills. He recovers, throws to first, not in time. And with the speed of Tucker, that will be an infield single. Looked like it might have got Grills on the wrist area of his throwing arm, the left arm. He's shaking it off, and I think he's fine. He's waving away the trainers. Keith Duggar for the Rockies and manager Bud Black will not go out. Grills says he is fine, and he will get to continue. Just glanced off of his wrist, it looked like. Jacob Stallings, catcher today for the Pirates. .262 home runs on the year, .338 on base percentage. Francisco Cervelli, no longer with the Pirates. We saw him in Miami. 0-1 pitch is inside. Runner goes, and Tucker will steal second base. So the Pirates will have a man in scoring position now with 1 out. That one's low, 1-2 on the catcher Stallings. Luke Maley was brought in over the offseason to also be a backup catcher. He's playing first base today. And that swung on and grounded towards short. Story up at the ball, throws to first. That's out number 2. Tucker will have to stay put at second base. And Luke Maley will be the batter. Former Ray and Blue Jay, only 198 on the year. 1 home run, 9 driven in for today's Pirates first baseman. Signed a 1-year, $900,000 deal with the Pirates this offseason. Don't hear of many major league contracts falling below the $1 million mark. Guaranteed major league contracts at least. 0-1 pitch is on the inside part of the inside corner. Quickly 0-2 now on Maley. And from the set position, the pitch from Grills is taken low.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Grills looks at second base. His 1-2 is going to miss outside.
2 and 2.
Not a whole lot of velocity to speak of from Grills. He will just hit around 90 miles per hour with his fastball into the lower 90s. It was off speed in the low to mid 80s or so. 2-2 pitch is high and tight. The count goes full. Mitch Keller, starting pitcher, is waiting on deck. Saw Robbie Ray get a couple hits in yesterday's ball game, opposing pitcher for the Diamondbacks. There's a swing and a high pop-up. Coming in on this one is Daniel Murphy. The first baseman makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the second. Rockies have a 1-0 lead. Hampson, Dahl, Diaz due up. Four-hit ball game for Garrett Hampson yesterday. You can see he's now got an 892 OPS on the year. One of those hits a home run. 3 homers on the year now for the Rockies center fielder today. One of those was of the inside the park variety.
Nope, that's the ball.
And little doubt on his home run. Went over 450 feet to left center field yesterday. Elias Diaz scored ahead of Hampson. Diaz had a few hits in yesterday's ballgame as well. 1-0 pitch is taken high, and David Dahl, waiting on deck, had a pinch hit single of his own, RBI single yesterday. So certainly everyone getting in on the offensive action, almost everybody, in the final game of the series with the Diamondbacks. 2-0 pitch from Keller is swung on and missed. Certainly was not in the cards earlier at the very beginning of the year, for David Dahl to be batting below Garrett Hampson in the order. But that's where we've reached at this point. 2-1 pitch is high and tight, 3-1. Dahl waiting on deck, batting .241 on the year. It's a 3-1 count on Hampson, leading off the bottom of the second inning, trying to get more offense going. That's swung on and grounded up the middle into center field. A base hit. We saw Hampson do that a few times yesterday. He's on quite a stretch right now. Leadoff single here in the bottom of the second inning for Garrett Hampson, and David Dahl will be the batter. OPS is .712 this year for Dahl. 6 home runs, 23 runs batted in. On base percentage is below the 300 mark, so that's rough, but over 400 on the slugging, towards the top of the leaderboard in the NL in terms of doubles, is David Dahl. That should count for something, I reckon. First pitch is swung on and missed. Late on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, there was Dahl. That one's going to miss inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Manager Bud Black laying down the signs in the Rockies dugout. Throw to first, that one's going to get away, and Hampson will be able to make it down to second base. That'll be an error on the pitcher Keller. Take a look at what happened there again. And then it went off of first base coach Ron Gideon. He appears to be okay. It bounced before it hit him, but that did allow for the ball to deflect and allow Hampson to move up. 1-2 the count now on David Dahl. Left fielder for the Rockies today. Started the year as the everyday center fielder, though Rockies would prefer to give Garrett Hampson and his speed an opportunity in center and Dahl in left. Ground ball to first base. Maley flips towards the pitcher, Keller covering, and Hampson advances to third. Let's take a look at the defense now for the Pirates. Left to right in the outfield, we have Adam Frazier, Brian Reynolds, and Gregory Polanco. Infield corners, Colin Moran and Luke Maley. Double play combination up the middle, Cole Tucker and Kevin Newman. Jacob Stallings is doing the catching for Mitch Keller, who's already made an error in this ballgame. Elias Diaz, the batter, homered in yesterday's ball game, his second home run of the season. First pitch is way inside, ball one. Up to 278 with the batting average now is Diaz. He had cooled off a little bit. He's always hit against lefties very well all throughout the year. But sometimes the overall average wasn't looking all that pretty. Now it certainly is. Ground ball weakly hit towards third base. Hampson's going to score. And that'll be an RBI ground out for Elias Diaz as Moran makes the play. And the Rockies now lead it 2-0. No hit, but we'll chalk up an RBI for Elias Diaz. Starting pitcher Evan Grills now still looking for his first major league hit. 2 outs, base is empty for the Rockies. Swing and a miss, strike one. Let's talk about the Pirates offseason. They signed a few guaranteed contracts. Total of $4.75 million in spending all on one-year deals. Gerard Dyson, outfielder, signed a one-year $2 million deal. Also brought over Guillermo Heredia on a one-year $1 million deal after he was non-tendered by the Tampa Bay Rays. Mentioned Luke Maile, also JT Riddle, kind of utility player, signed a one-year $850,000 deal. Grills swings and misses. That'll retire the side. Rockies get another run thanks to an RBI ground out from Elias Diaz. It's 2-0 Colorado after 2. Mitch Keller, 118 on the year, 1 RBI, no home runs for him. Evan Grills goes back to work. Couple of decisions on options to make this offseason for the Pirates. They exercised their $11.5 million club option over Starling Marte. Of course, would then trade Marte to the Diamondbacks. There's a pop-up into shallow left field. Dahl camping under it. Makes the catch for out number 1. Marte was traded to the D-backs for minor league shortstop Yover Peguero and minor league righty Brennan Malone. And the club also exercised their club option of $9 million over righty Chris Archer, who actually had to undergo surgery due to thoracic outlet syndrome. And he's going to miss all of the 2020 campaign in real baseball world. So they will look for him to hopefully pitch in 2021. TOS is an interesting situation where not a whole lot of pitchers have recovered from it. Some certainly have. That's a bit of a dire prognosis. Certainly, though, the Pirates say they expect Archer to be ready and raring to go for the 2021 season. Pirates also claimed left-handed pitcher Sam Howard off waivers from the Rockies at the very beginning of the offseason. There's a strike on the inside corner. A couple of minor trades. The Pirates traded righty Dario Agrazal to the Tigers for cash considerations and righty Parker Markell to the Angels for cash considerations. Did bring in quite a few minor league signings. We'll talk about those after this 3-1. That swung on and grounded foul. Full count now on Kevin Newman. Payoff pitch is strike 3 called. He got him on strikes. See if you can remember any of these names. Derek Hollins, former Giant. Robbie Erlin, former Padre. John Ryan Murphy, former Diamondback. Bringing in a lot of NL West names. Andrew Susak, he's a former Giant. Charlie Tilson, Socrates Brito, there's a former Diamondback. There's a line drive towards left field. Running it down is Dahl, he'll make the catch. Jake Elmore, Hector Noesi, Phillip Evans also brought in. Tom Kohler was, but he decided to retire. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-0 Rockies. Rockies hitting stats right now in 2020. They are third place in the National League in slugging at .440. Also have the most home runs in the NL, 7th in all of baseball. But some of the offensive stats are certainly lacking team-wide, especially on base percentage. Charlie Blackmon, walk and a run scored. He will lead off the bottom of the third inning. Notable losses for the Pirates in their offseason. Starling Marte, of course, the big one. Melky Cabrera as well. Of course, they non-tendered Elias Diaz, who's getting the start today for the Rockies against his former team. Previously, the Pittsburgh Pirates organization was all Diaz had known. Francisco Liriano, Corbin Joseph, Steven Barone, also a couple of losses for the Pirates this offseason. MLB Trade Rumors, as always, has a great write-up on the offseason in review for the Pirates on their website. Line drive right to the shortstop, Tucker. We take a look. Pirates have now moved into a half-game lead over the Brewers for first place in the National League Central. Reds are 7 out, though. They've still had a pretty solid season. They're towards the top of the wild card standings. Cubs are 12 out, and Cardinals are 12.5 out. Only team the Rockies have not seen this year are the Cubs. Trevor Story 0 for 1. He flied out back in the first inning. First pitch is a strike to Story. Of course, we have some other names that have crossed between the Rockies and Pirates organizations, one of which was Clint Hurdle, who now is no longer the manager of the Pirates. And the offseason started with Hurdle saying he had been assured that he would be retained as the manager in 2020, then was fired just 5 days later. And then general manager Neil Huntington started to look for a new manager. Then owner Bob Nutting decided to fire Huntington nearly a month into that effort. So lots of bit of a massacre of the front office for the Pirates. 1-2 to Story is going to miss low and away. Story swings skies one towards center field, going back on this one is Reynolds. He'll get there to make the catch for out number 2. So it was a month after the regular season ended, and the Pirates had no manager or general manager and weren't close to making a hire for either of those vacancies. For the interim, the general manager was Kevin Graves, and he represented the Pirates at the annual general managers meetings. But shortly after that, Pirates hired former Red Sox GM Ben Sherrington to replace Huntington, and almost another 10 days later, they hired Twins bench coach Derek Shelton as their new manager. So that's who they have now. Quite a few free agents had already signed at that point. Arenado swings and skies one in the air towards center field. Long run for Reynolds, but he runs it down. That'll retire the side. We're through 3 innings, 2-0 Rockies.
Leading off for Pittsburgh, the center fielder, number 10.
Ryan Reynolds leads off the 4th inning against Evan Gross, takes first pitch strike. Swing and a miss, quickly 0-2 now on Reynolds. Well, it became apparent fairly quickly that the Pirates were not planning on making any notable additions to their team. And definitely the largest move they made was sending Starling Marte to the Diamondbacks. Scramble to third, Arenado up at the ball, throws to first, and that is out number 1. Did add some high upside, very young talent to their farm ranks, and Peguero and Malone we talked about. Gregory Polanco takes a pitch outside, ball 1. One's outside, 2-0. Immediately after trading Marte, Sherrington said that he hoped to bring in a serviceable replacement at a lower cost, of course, than Marte's $11.5 million salary. Ended up bringing in a trio of potential center field options. Again, Gerard Dyson, only $2 million, Guillermo Heredia at $1 million, and JT Riddle at $850K, all on one-year major league deals. There's a high fly ball towards the left field. Going back on this one is Dahl. He's got it in range. He makes the catch for out number 2. None of them are starting today's ball game. We have Adam Frazier in left, Gregory Polanco just flied out his right. And Brian Reynolds is in center field. Here's Colin Moran, the third baseman today. Of course, Dyson is known for being a very fast runner with good glove work, and it's a pretty tidy bargain according to MLB Trade Rumors. That's how they write about it, for that $2 million price. But evidently, the Pirates deemed Kevin Pillar's $4.25 million deal with the Red Sox to be too expensive.
The count is 1-2.
Pillar is younger. But Rockies, I believe, were in a bit of a similar boat when we were talking about how much they were willing to spend to bring in a free agent last offseason. It looked like the Rockies were kind of hard-pressed to break the bank on any sort of $1 million addition. There's a ground ball hit towards short. Story up the ball, throws to first. Another quick inning for Evan Grills. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 2-0 Rockies. Ryan McMahon leads off the bottom of the fourth inning. RBI single his first time up, broke open the scoring. .879 OPS for the Rockies' second baseman here in 2020. Mitch Keller back to work. His first pitch to McMahon is taken for a strike. Of course, we see Luke Maile playing first base today. He's largely the backup catcher for 30-year-old Jacob Stallings, getting his first opportunity as a starting catcher here in 2020. Maile is not going to get the lion's share of the duties at first base. Josh Bell, typically the starter over there, getting the day off today. He had a generally strong 2019 campaign to Josh Bell. Certainly was looking like one of the better players in the game by the All-Star break, but then had quite a second-half slump. Adam Frazier has settled in as a quality player. Kevin Newman showed a lot of upside in his rookie year last year as McMahon swings and pulls one down the right field line, and it's going to hook foul. Had home run distance. Just out ahead of that one was Ryan McMahon. 2-2 pitch. That one's strike three called at or maybe a little below the knees. Look at our pitch speed comparisons today. Mitch Keller has gotten up to 97. Evan Grills, the slow, steady 92 miles per hour for the top of his tops pitch speed today. Certainly effective for Evan Grills with his command and location. Doesn't necessarily have to throw it all that hard. Daniel Murphy 0 for 1 grounded out his first time up. Murphy swings and it's a high fly ball, deep right field, way back and gone. Fourth home run of the year for Daniel Murphy, and that is good news for him to maybe get him to break out of his slump. 3-0 Rockies. Just enough to make it over the barrier out there, the fence in right field erected at the beginning of the 2016 season. Here's Garrett Hampson now. First pitch is swung on and missed. Single and a run scored for Hampson, his first time up. Next pitch will be number 50 of the day for Mitch Keller. The 0-1. That's just a bit inside. Swung on and lined down the left field line. It's going to drop fair. This should be a double for Hampson with his speed. The throw by Frazier is not going to be in time. That is indeed a double for Garrett Hampson, his third of the season. And a couple more hits already today after a 4-hit affair yesterday. It's quite a stretch for Garrett Hampson right now. And that'll give David Dahl an opportunity. Lefty Stephen Brault has started to warm up in the Pirates bullpen. There's a line drive up the middle into center field, base hit. Hampson will be waved around third, and the throw is going to be cut off, and it's 4-0 Rockies. RBI single for David Dahl, scores Garrett Hampson. Rockies offense picking right up where they left off yesterday, scoring 12 runs in yesterday's ball game. Elias Diaz now the batter. He had a few hits yesterday. First pitch is going to miss outside. So in terms of pitching for the Pirates, Jamison Tyone had Tommy John surgery last summer. Chad Kuhl still working back from his own Tommy John procedure at the end of the 2018 season. There were some shoulder woes this spring for Steven Brault, but at least in our simulation he is good enough to warm up in the bullpen right now. And of course, I don't even really want to discuss the issues that have gone on with Felipe Vasquez, the former elite-level closer, but a series of really disturbing charges against him. And he is out of the picture completely, and I think it may be safe to say he has seen his last days in a Major League uniform. Pirates did not do a whole lot to bolster their pitching depth this winter, though. Again, they brought in Derek Holland, Robbie Erlin, and Hector Nuesi on minor league deals. And Holland is now in there as a fifth starter. Joe Musgrove, Trevor Williams also a part of the rotation. Ground ball back to the mound, going to second for one, back to first, and that is a double play started by Keller, and that'll retire the side. After 4 innings, it's 4-0 Rockies. 6, 7, 8 hitters due up against Evan Grills in the fifth. Cole Tucker base hit his first time up. Leads off here in the fifth inning against Grills. Shakes off once, gets the sound he likes into his motion. First pitch is inside, ball one. Pirates also did not elect to add a single reliever to their staff this offseason. Did claim Sam Howard off waivers from the Rockies. Keone Kella is going to be the closer for them this year. He's the only reliever with any real track record among the Pirates' relief corps. We'll be relying on the same group of relievers as Tucker floats one into right field. That'll drop for a base hit to lead things off in the top of the fifth. Pirates relievers ranked 23rd in the majors in ERA last year in 2019. And that was even with Felipe Vasquez part in the picture for the first several months and putting up very good numbers. So Vasquez now on the restricted list. And if you exclude his salary, Pirates are set to open the season with under $54 million in payroll on the books. In today's game, that is an astonishingly low number. And it's so small that we should not be surprised by the fact that the MLBPA has filed yet another grievance against the organization. Of course, they filed a grievance against not only the Pirates a couple off seasons ago, but the A's and Rays as well, and both of them responded by making the postseason. So I certainly think there is a bit of a more argument for the filing against the Pirates, as they quite frankly seem a lot more interested in reducing their payroll than they do in contention at this juncture. The collective bargaining agreement has rules in place about the manner in which a team must allocate its revenue-sharing funds. So certainly easy to understand why the union has questions about the Pirates' claims that their use of said resources is compliant. Sherrington, the now GM of the Pirates, did not want to use the word rebuild this offseason. He said the Pirates are building, not rebuilding. Maybe just an issue of semantics, though. Pirates also did not select a player in the Rule 5 draft in December. So it's kind of odd to see that the Pirates didn't shop aggressively some of their other players like Keone Kella, Josh Bell, Adam Frazier, or Joe Musgrove, or anyone else who's controlled for 3 or fewer seasons, given how little they seemed interested in contending. It almost seems like there's a little bit of a lack of a plan in place, and that started with the GM search and the manager search at the very beginning of the offseason. 93 games lost in 2019 for the Pirates, but as we see, they are first place in the National League Central here in our simulation. Mitch Keller, the batter, now with a couple runners on, one out. Ground ball hit towards third. Arenado goes to second for one, back to first, and double play. That'll retire the side. Every time it looks like Grills might be getting into trouble, he works out of it easily. We go to the bottom of the fifth, 4-0 Rockies. Evan Grills still looking for that first big league hit. He's 0 for 5 to start his career. He leads off the bottom of the fifth, 4-0 Colorado. Certainly are some exciting young talent to watch for the Pirates. And it will be, even with that might be the first big league hit. And it's going to drop. First major league hit for Evan Grills. They will collect that baseball, will the Rockies. We're going to have a pitching change. Stephen Brault will come in, 29th game of the year, 52 strikeouts and 38 walks in 55 and a third innings. 4.07 is ERA. Lefty's only hitting 191 against him. Righty's 260. So Brault. Charlie Blackmon is who he will first face. Walk and a run scored for him. 284, 349. The average and on-base percentage combination as we get our look at Dinger, trying to get the crowd excited for the Rockies to continue to add some offense here in the bottom of the fifth. First pitch strike called on the outside part of the outside corner for Blackmon, who's 1 for 6 in his career against Stephen Brault. Lefty has handled the lefty. But according to the MLB Trade Rumors article here, it will be an upset if the Pirates don't finish in last place. Certainly not the case so far in our simulated season as Blackmon singles up the middle. The expectation was for Musgrove, Kella, Frazier, Bell to certainly be on the trading block this summer. Nick Birdie, the righty, has started to warm in the bullpen for the Pirates as Trevor Story bats. He's put the ball in the air twice, both times for outs. He's 0 for 2. But also from the MLB Trade Rumors article here, Sherrington does have a track record of quality player development with his time with Boston and with the Toronto Blue Jays. So perhaps the plan is to use 2020 as a year of pure evaluation for what was already in-house, but sure seems like the Pirates passed on countless opportunities to pursue some upside deals and to further stock the farm, or at least give the fans some reason to care, is how it's written here in the MLB Trade Rumors article. They say it's going to be a long year in Pittsburgh. Nick Birdie there, you can see him warming up in the bullpen. It's been a pretty good year in terms of our simulation, though. Fifth inning, we'll check some scores around baseball. Fifth inning in Texas, Rangers lead Cleveland 2-0. Story swings and drives one towards the gap in left center field. That ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Grills will score his first big league run. Blackmon's going to be waved around third, and he will score. It's a 2-run double for Trevor Story, and it's 6-0 Rockies. It's the 17th double of the year for the Rockies shortstop. That'll bring up Nolan Arenado, 1 for 2, got a base hit in the first inning. And 53% of the votes on the poll at MLB Trade Rumors gave the Pirates a failing grade for the offseason, then another 31% a D, 11% a C, 3% a B, and then 2% Gave them an A out of the 4,255 total votes. 8th inning, Phillies lead the A's 7-3. Marcus Semien has hit his 13th home run of the year in what is now a losing cause for the A's. Gene Segura has home run number 7 for the Phillies. It's today's interleague action. 1-1 is the count on Nolan Arenado. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Swinging a ground ball hit towards third. Moran makes the play, throws to first. Arenado's out. Story will have to hold at second base. It's the first out of the inning. Here's Ryan McMahon, 1 for 2 RBI single in this one. In the 6th inning, we'll talk about the draft selections from the first 2 nights of the MLB draft for the Rockies. Pitch outside, ball 1. Our managing editor Sam Bradfield and Renee Deckard have done a great job of covering the draft. Justin Wick did some really good articles prior to the draft as well. So your one-stop shop for draft coverage, purplerow.com. Lefty-on-lefty matchup now. Pitch to McMahon is taken for a strike. There's a swing and a miss. Count evens at 2. Two-two pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. That's the second out of the inning.
The first baseman, number 9, Daniel Murphy.
Here is Daniel Murphy now. He hit a home run his last time up. Good sign for him. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. Those have been tough for Murphy this year. He swings and grounds one foul. 1 for 2 with that home run in the 4th inning. Just an inning ago now for Murphy. Got the batting average up to 248. Murphy had reverse splits last year. That was certainly not the case throughout his entire career and hasn't been this year. 0-1 delivery. Story takes off for third. Throw down is not going to be in time. Story steals a bag. Rockies offense really clicking the last couple of games and getting a lot of action on the base paths as well. We saw Garrett Hampson steal a base yesterday. Here comes an 0-2 pitch to Daniel Murphy, and it's swung on and pulled foul. Swung on and fouled back. Murphy staying alive. It's fouled off once more. Murphy hanging in there. And swinging a foul once more. Brault comes set one more time. An 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed to get him on strikes, and that'll retire the side. Rockies get a couple more runs across, and it's 6-0 now. We go to the 6th. Newman leads off the top of the 6th inning. 0 for 2 strikeout and a ground out for him today. Let's talk about some of the draft selections from Wednesday and Thursday evenings for the Rockies. With their first pick, they selected an outfielder out of Spruce Creek High School, Zach Veen, in the first round with the 9th overall pick of the 2020 draft. And he was rated number 7 on Major League Baseball's pre-draft rankings. There's a line drive towards right center field. Blackman on the run for this one. He's not going to get it. It'll go down and get to the wall. Wide turnaround second base. Newman holds with a double. That's his 14th double of the season. We look at doubles leaders on the team. Brian Reynolds leads with 18. Then Newman and Bell has 14 as well. Adam Frazier 13. Kevin Kramer has 10. Gregory Polanco 9 and Eric Gonzalez 8. So Zach Veen, 9th overall pick by the Rockies. Some comparisons to Cody Bellinger, also Kyle Tucker and Christian Yelich. As he has said, he wants to be an MVP, so those are certainly a couple names that you want to emulate yourself after if you want to win an MVP award. It's one of the youngest players in the draft. It's a ground ball. It's going to get under the glove of Murphy into right field. They're going to hold Newman at third base, and Reynolds will be on the corners with nobody out. That's going to be an error on the first baseman, Murphy. Brian Reynolds, the batter, drew a walk back in the first inning, otherwise 0 for 1. Veen is 6'4", 190 pounds. He's considered one of the best bats in this year's class. According to MLB.com, he has the kind of left-handed swing that scouts can dream on. A lot of power, average runner, probably suited for a corner outfield spot at Coors Field. Last time the Rockies drafted a high school outfielder was 2012 when they took a guy named David Dahl from Oak Mountain High School in Birmingham. There's a line drive base hit into right field. Newman will score, and it's a 6-1 ball game now as the Pirates are on the board. Brian Reynolds with the RBI single. Here's Gregory Polanco. First pitch from Grills is taken low, ball 1. And the Rockies had on Wednesday evening a competitive balance round A pick and picked Drew Romo, a switch-hitting catcher out of the Woodlands High School in Texas, which is the alma mater of Paul Goldschmidt. Sam Bradfield threw that fun fact into her article. That's the 35 overall pick for the Rockies, was that comp pick. This is the highest the Rockies have ever drafted selected a catcher. The title was formerly held by Tom Murphy, who was drafted 105th overall out of SUNY Buffalo back in 2012. MLB Network gave him some Yasmani Grandal comps. Former Rockies general manager Dan O'Dowd is on the MLB Network crew, and he described him as already a professional catcher, and he's in high school. Also, MLB.com saying a potential Gold Glover who possesses soft hands, advanced receiving skills, and a strong arm and quick release. Also garners praise for his leadership ability, work ethic, and baseball IQ. Pretty high praise for a high school guy, especially one who plays a position like catcher. He has committed to LSU. We'll see if he signs. Rockies are going to not turn a double play. It's a throw, return throw. We'll pull Grills off the bag. See Murphy starting that play. And return throw from Story was too high for Grills to make the catch. So yeah, I'm sure the Rockies were really fond of the intangibles they saw there related to Drew Romo, who I don't know if is related to Tony Romo or not, or Sergio Romo. Assuming he's not, we probably have heard of that by now. And in the second round and 46th overall, Rockies selected right-handed pitcher Chris McMahon. I don't believe he is related to Ryan McMahon. I'm just typing Chris McMahon's name in here, and this is from DoWindyCity.com, which is a Chicago Cubs site. It's their fan-sided affiliate. They have an article called Chris McMahon is the next Aaron Nola. So it seems like the Rockies might have had themselves a pretty good draft, at least from the early returns here.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Two-two pitch to Colin Moran is swung on and chopped weakly foul.
Foul ball.
There was a Zoom meeting where the members of the media, including some of our Purple Rose staff members, were able to attend to see what General Manager Jeff Bridich and Vice President of Scouting Bill Schmidt had to say about their first rounds on Wednesday evening. 2 high school players for the Rockies as Moran swings, and it's a high fly ball to deep right field. This ball is way back and gone. It's a 3-run home run for Colin Moran, his 3rd of the year. It's going to make it a 6-4 ball game. This is really the first time we've seen Grills have extended issues in an inning this year. Little doubt about that one. Blackman didn't even move. There is action in the Rockies bullpen. It's James Pazos and Tim Collins, a couple of lefties. Cole Tucker takes a pitch inside corner for a strike. So here's what Schmidt had to say about Zach Veen. He said he's been watching him since June 2019. Rocky scout John Cederberg has been following his development for several years. Schmidt said Veen has a fluid, slightly rising swing with the ability to impact a baseball, uses his hands real well. He has good raw power, lots of good rhythm, balance, and timing in the swing. Rockies will see which part of the outfield is the best fit for him. He's played primarily center in high school. Schmidt said they'll see what the future holds for him as he develops, quote, into a man. And they'll play him all over in the minor leagues. Brendan Rodgers and Veen had worked out together at the same facility in Orlando. There's a ground ball hit towards third base. Arenado up at the ball, throws to first, and gets the speedy Tucker for out number 2. Schmidt acknowledged that he knew they were working out alongside Drew Butera, but he also said he did not speak to Rodgers about Veen. There was a little bit of a surprise that Veen was still available for the 9th pick, like we mentioned. He was ranked 7th in the draft by MLB.com. Rockies, though, had prepared for any scenario, they said. Schmidt said, nothing ever surprises me anymore. There's a fly ball towards right center field. On the run is Hampson. He'll get there to make the catch. And the side is retired, but not before Colin Moran. It's a 3-run home run, and it's a 2-run ball game. 6-4 Rockies lead it. Going to the bottom of the 6th. We'll see what the Rockies had to say about Drew Romo when we return. Rockies manager Bud Black talking things over with pitching coach Steve Foster. Really the first time we've seen an extended period of struggles in an inning for Evan Grills in the top of the 6th. Richard Rodriguez and Michael Felice are warming up in the the Pirates bullpen, the other Pennsylvania team. Stephen Brault will be back out there for another inning of work. First batter he faces here in the 6th is Garrett Hampson. I think we may have seen Grills throw his last few pitches unless the Rockies offense can really get things going here. A solid 6-inning start for Grills is nothing to sneeze at. Pitch inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a foul out of play, I believe. Nope, that's going to be run down by Frazier for out number 1 in foul territory. So Drew Romo was the catcher out of high school who the Rockies selected in their competitive balance round A pick. Bill Schmidt said Romo's defensive skills at this point are ahead of his offense, and he's very polished for a high school batter. He's been exposed to a lot of quality competition, caught a lot of good arms. Schmidt said, we think as a staff, personally, there's a lot of upside to this kid. Jeff Bridich had something to add. He said they like his swing, they like what he brings to the plate, not just behind it. Going to be a lot of development for him in all areas. Breitich said, we feel as though this kid is extremely well equipped to make the leap and excel. That doesn't mean he's not going to struggle. That's part of his development process. But Breitich also added that he had the Rockies had a Zoom conference with Romo and his family, and the takeaway was he was very impressive there. Rockies are optimistic about Romo's leadership skills as well. We mentioned those earlier. Schmidt said it's just his presence on the field. He also noted that Romo's teammates and coaches have called Romo a field general type guy. He receives respect and is invested in the pitchers he catches. Schmidt says those are things you see watching a guy like Drew Butera play. Pitch outside, full count. Breitich said the pitchers rave about Romo, his attention to detail, and the confidence they had on the mound when throwing to him. You know, it's interesting because the scouts had to pack it up and go home a little bit before Major League Baseball closed its doors on spring training. Dahl lines one into left field, a base hit. That's going to get down and go to the wall, as a matter of fact. Dahl will cruise into second base with a double with one out here in the bottom of the sixth. Good to see for Dahl, a couple hits today. 28th double of the year for David Dahl. So quite a trajectory there. But Breitich and Schmidt agreed the biggest challenge in terms of scouting during the COVID-19 pandemic was not getting to see players finish out their seasons and their progression. Schmidt specifically noted it had an impact on their ability to see cold weather players. College players especially, Breitich mentioned that the reduced sample size of college play presented a challenge since the Rockies were not able to see player development and improvement right up to the draft. Off the field, the Zoom calls gave the Rockies an opportunity to get to know players better and to let players learn more about the organization in place of in-person meetings. Team also was thankful that they had experienced scouts given the lack of available video, and both Veen and Romo were watched by Rockies scouts prior to the draft. In terms of player development plans, Rockies, they didn't hesitate. They drafted a couple high school players. And Schmidt said the team did a lot of work on both players, and given that the organization is set up to develop high school players, Veen and Romo's lack of experience is not an issue. Schmidt said it always comes down to the maturity of the kid. There's a ground ball towards second base. It's going to be out number 2. Diaz retired. Dahl moves up to third base. But Schmidt said, is he ready to handle what's going to be thrown in front of him, generally speaking? Probably failing for the first time in your life. Are they mature enough to be able to handle that? Ian Desmond's going to pinch hit for the pitcher's spot. Evan Grills will see his day come to an end. Desmond batting .224 on the season. At the end of the day, the Rockies, like much of baseball, are unsure as to how player development will work this year. Desmond swings and grounds one weakly towards third base. Moran makes the play, and that'll retire the side. We go to the 7th. We'll talk a little bit more about what the Rockies had to say about their scouting plans and the drafting plans when we return. 6-4 Rockies after 6. Carlos Estevez, new pitcher for the Rockies here in the 7th, 39th game of the year. 36 in the third innings pitched, 46 strikeouts, 10 walks. That's quite good. You see the .570 ERA, though. It's allowed a .377 batting average to right-handed pitching and a lot of home runs as well. Luke Maile will lead things off. 0 for 2 strikeout and a pop-out. 8-9 one-hitters due up for the Pirates. So Jeff Breitich, as we continue our conversation about how the Rockies are planning to go about developing players in the middle of a pandemic. There's a fly ball to center. Hampson makes the play. See if we have a pinch hitter now.
Now batting, the pitcher,
Stephen Brault due up. We will have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Kevin Kramer, 267, 5 home runs, 30 runs batted in on the year. But Jeff Breitich said, we've brainstormed a number of potential different things, but he says we're not entirely sure yet how any of baseball is going to work this year. He added that while there have been rumors about a possible developmental league or an extended Arizona fall league, there's a ground ball towards second base. McMahon handles it for out number 2. Uncertainty remains throughout baseball, largely because of COVID-19. Breitich said it's tough to commit to anything right now. He said, I think COVID has impacted everybody, whether you play baseball or not. And so certainly there's going to be some kind of impact because this is a season and a year unlike any other that any of us have ever seen and been a part of in our lifetime. He said, everybody's just trying to make the best of it. He said, we need more information about our industry before we can make the best of the remaining developmental time or potential developmental time the rest of this year. But Schmidt said, I don't think anyone knows what's in store post-draft. There's a new draft format this year. Players are going to have to make their decisions in terms of whether they're ready to enter professional baseball, with likely closing down of a lot of minor league teams, including the Lancaster Jethawks and Grand Junction Rockies and the Rockies organization, but numerous teams across minor league baseball, and likely not going to have a minor league season in any capacity in 2020. There's a strike.
I got to count 1 and 2.
But Schmidt said the Rockies are not necessarily looking at a specific position, but their philosophy is drafting the best available players. Ground ball hit into left field, a base hit.
Now back, left fielder.
2-out single for Kevin Newman. It's going to give us a pitching change. 3 batters faced by Carlos Estevez, the minimum required. So Pazos will come in. This is his 35th game of the year. 36 in the third innings pitched, 1-1 his record. 4.46 ERA, 35 strikeouts, and 13 walks. Pazos has been a little bit hit or miss in terms of his appearances this season. First batter he will face is Adam Frazier, 0-for-3 in this one. Zach Veen, the first-round pick by the Rockies, also took questions from the media following the Wednesday draft. 9th overall pick. Veen said, I say a big thing for me was being a little bit more physical, gaining weight throughout the years and gaining the strength he has now. Went from being 160 pounds to 205 in 2 years. He thinks that's the reason why he has the talent he does now. Veen said, I've never really tried to hit for power. I've just tried to hit the barrel. He said, I think my power's just going to continue to get there the more I grow into my body. Veen mentioned that he spoke to the Rockies a little bit before the draft. He said he had a pretty good feeling that they liked him. That's where he wanted to go play, he said, and he thinks it's a great fit for him. But he was modest in terms of draft expectations, said he wasn't really expecting anything. He was just hoping a team would take a chance on him, which the Rockies did. Veen said he's incredibly grateful and he's going to give them all he has. Veen also described himself, for those less familiar with his play, he said that he would say he's a good all-around baseball player, somebody who plays with a lot of passion in the game and never really takes a play off, and somebody who's never going to get outworked. See some competition there perhaps with Nolan Arenado in terms of the work ethic. Before COVID-19, there's a line drive towards first base, and Murphy makes the catch. We'll talk about what Veen was doing to get prepared for the draft before COVID-19 after Corey Shembry sings the 7th inning stretch for us. It's 6-4 Rockies.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, 'cause it's root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Michael Feliz, new pitcher for the Pirates, 39th game of the year. Charlie Blackmon 1 for 2, a base hit, 2 runs scored today, hitting .287 now. So before the COVID-19 lockdowns, Zach Veen, 9th overall pick, first-round pick by the Rockies, was practicing with his high school team, hoping to win a state championship. Since then, Veen says he's really just taken it as a second off-season, and he took advantage of it since that no matter where he ends up playing, he'll be 100% ready to give it his best go. Since then, Veen has been working out at the same place he does off-season training. He said he was just happy he was able to do that because it really helped him a lot. He got asked a question of if he was committed to signing with the Rockies or would instead go to college. Veen said that he thinks that's a question that's going to be answered a little bit later. He says he loves the Rockies organization. He's happy they decided to give him an opportunity, but he thinks all that will handle himself. He's committed to the University of Florida. In terms of Coors Field, Veen said he knows the ball flies there. He knows hitters love it there. He works out daily with Brendan Rodgers, who told him some stories about how far the ball goes there. But Veen said, I can't wait to go hit there. And from a defensive perspective, he also noted that Coors has a big outfield, and I would certainly concur with that statement. Blackman strikes out for out number 1. Veen said when he talks to some of the Rockies scouts, they said it's definitely hard to cover the ground out there. It's fun to hit the ball, but it's also hard to track down the balls there as well. And at the end of the day, Veen's mom is who's the most excited about his baseball career, he said. Said she's been waiting for this day about the same as I have, and she's really excited to see my dream come true. Owen pitch to Trevor Story is taken low and away.
Outside, that's the ball.
Swinging a chop foul, 1-2 the count. Swung on and fouled out of play. Swing and a miss, he got him on strikes. Phillies strikes out the first 2 batters he faces, and some pretty good ones in Blackman and Story. They're 2 away.
Now batting, the third baseman, Nolan Arenado.
So certainly Rockies draft picks, and you can read more about this from Kevin Henry of Rock's Pile. There's certainly some uncertainty. They're in limbo right now in terms of their future plans and destinations for the moment. The same can really be said for Colorado's previous draft picks, especially guys like Michael Toglia, who was taken with last year's 23rd pick, Ryan Rollison selected 22nd in 2018, and a lot of others. Arenado swings, skies one towards fairly deep right field. Going back on this one is Polanco, and he will make the catch up against the wall, and that'll retire the side. We're through 7 innings. Look at this nice catch by Gregory Polanco again. Nolan Arenado gave it a ride. We go to the 8th, 6-4 Rockies. Eighth inning, Brian Reynolds leads off 1 for 2 with an RBI single in this one. Scores around baseball, 3-1 Texas over Cleveland right now. Danny Santana has homered. 8th inning, Astros lead the White Sox 3-2. Nomar Mazara has homered for Chicago. Pitch inside, ball 1. 39,048 in attendance here at Coors Field. 1-0 Angels lead the Mariners. They're in the 5th inning. Anthony Rendon has homered for the 22nd time this year. .2-0 from Pazos is on the inside corner for a called strike. But in that media availability on Zoom, Bradich admitted that the progression could temporarily slow down for the next wave of Colorado's franchise because of the limitations of the minor leagues. There's a line drive base hit into center field.
Now batting, the right fielder.
Solid piece of hitting for Brian Reynolds. Here's Gregory Polanco now. Swings and chops, one foul at the plate. Polanco 0 for 3 grounded out his last time up. That was in the 6th inning. Pitch outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Pazos seeming to be a bit frustrated with some of the calls that have not gone in his favor here in the 8th. One's low, hitters count now on Gregory Polanco. It was one time when Polanco was flanked in the outfield by Starling Marte and Andrew McCutchen. Quite a trio. Polanco, the last man standing for the Pirates. So a swing and a miss, count evens at 2. McCutchen, we've seen him with the Phillies. We've seen Marte plenty of times with the Diamondbacks here in 2020. McCutchen injured for the Pirates, for the Phillies, much of last year. Line drive caught by the second baseman. Little flare right to McMahon. That's out number 1. Colin Moran will bat. He's 1 for 3. Hit a 3-run home run back in the 6th inning. Made it a 2-run ball game, and that's where we still stand. 6-4 Rockies. Went out here in the top of the 8th. 1 runner on. Brian Reynolds against James Pazos. His first pitch to Moran is swung on and fouled out of play. 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Pazos. That one's low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Pazos is 1-1, is going to miss. Low, hitters count now on Colin Moran. Swung on and skied towards left field. Coming in on this one, getting there is Dahl. There are 2 away. And Cole Tucker will bat. We have a pitching change. Wade Davis will come in. Make his 35th appearance of the year. 25 and a third innings, 24 strikeouts, 8 walks. Those certainly are not alarming numbers. 370 average against lefties, 328 against righties. This led to an 8.17 ERA for Wade Davis on the year. Cole Tucker is who he will face, trying to get the final out of this 8th inning. 2 for 3, a couple base hits for Tucker today. Also has a stolen base. Hoping to send this game quickly to the bottom of the 8th as Davis. First pitch misses low and away, ball 1. And the 1-0 is on the outside corner for a called strike. One from Davis is down and in. Hitters count now on Cole Tucker. Davis comes set. Brief look over his shoulder towards first base. His 2-1 is swung on and missed.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
2-2. It's going to miss way inside. Full count now on Tucker. Jacob Stallings, the catcher, is waiting on deck. Davis trying to get the final out here, send this game to the bottom of the 8th. The Rockies a chance to add some insurance before the 9th. So swing and a miss, he got him on strikes, and that will retire the side. Davis with a big strikeout to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 6-4 Rockies. Ryan McMahon leads off in the bottom of the 8th, 1 for 3 RBI single on his day. Michael Felice out for a second inning of work. Had a pretty good bottom of the 7th. Got 2 strikeouts of Blackman and Story. Then very deep fly out by Arenado. Polanco had to go back to the very edge of the track at the wall to make the catch. 1-0 from Felice is inside 2-0.
Ball two.
And that's just a bit high. 3-0 now on Ryan McMahon leading off this bottom of the 8th. Daniel Murphy with a home run today is waiting on deck. That's in there for a called strike, and it's 3-1 now. Some more scores around baseball. It's the final. Mets beat the Nationals 7-6. Dodgers beat the Braves 3-2. Shane Green picks up his second loss of the year, so it must have been a bit of extra innings win or a ninth inning go-ahead win. Mookie Betts homered. 8th inning, Brewers lead the Reds, a couple of the other NL Central teams, 4-3. Aristides Aquino homered for the Reds. Avisail Garcia homered for Milwaukee. It's a cue shot. It's going to be a long throw for the shortstop, Tucker, and he will get McMahon for out number 1. 4-1 Diamondbacks over the Padres. Despite a Tyler Naquin home run for San Diego, Marlins over San Francisco 3-1 in the 5th. Tyler Naquin must have been a simulated trade with Cleveland. I do not recall. I certainly don't believe that was an off-season move. I'll have to check though. Line drive, basin in the left field by Murphy. He's got a couple hits today. Good to see for him. Also David Dahl with a couple hits. That's also good to see. A couple of Rockies' offensive struggles have come from Murphy and Dahl. Certainly been getting in on their share of the action today, though. Here's Garrett Hampson now. Speaking of getting in on the action, the last 2 days, Hampson has had multi-hit games. His average up over the 300 mark now. Yeah, 313 on base percentage, 403, 522 slugging. What a stretch for Garrett Hampson. Certainly earned his spot as the everyday center fielder. Looks like what he's going to see for the time being. There's a swing and a miss. 1-1 from Felice is swung on and missed for strike 2. Rays beat the Orioles 10-1. Blue Jays beat the Tigers 9-6. Matt Shoemaker gets win number 5 on the year for Toronto. Spencer Turnbull, his 9th loss for Detroit this season. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. hit his 16th homer of the year, 4 runs batted in for the Blue Jays. 8th inning, Twins lead the Royals 7-6. There's a line drive right to the second baseman, Newman. Josh Donaldson homered for the Twins. Raul Mondesi homered for the Royals. Tied at 3 now in the 8th are Cleveland and Texas. The homer for Cesar Hernandez.
Count 1-0.
David Dahl is the batter. It's a 1-0 count on him. So pitch inside 2-0. The 2-0 is swung on and missed. Still is a hitter's count on David Dahl, 2-1. Swung on and popped up. That's going to hook foul and out of play. That's high, and now it's a full count. Elias Diaz waiting on deck, hoping to get another opportunity. The payoff pitch to Dahl is inside, ball 4. He walked him. Couple runners on with 2 outs for the Rockies now for Elias Diaz. Diaz 0 for 3 in his first game facing the only team he has known his entire life, in the major leagues at least, prior to signing with the Rockies. First pitch here is taken just a little bit low, ball one. It's 30 pitches now for the reliever Feliz. Diaz only hitting 200 on the year with runners in the scoring position. Again, it's a matter of left-handed or right-handed pitching for the most part, with Diaz. Really hits lefties well, has not hit righties very well this year. It's around 400 against lefties and under the Mendoza line against righties. Quite a difference. Pop up first base side. Camping under it is the first baseman Maley. That'll retire the side. And we go to the ninth. Rockies will be trying to close this one out. We'll see Scott Oberg, I believe, will be coming in. 6-4 Rockies after 8. Double switch time for Rockies manager Bud Black. Scott Oberg is indeed the new pitcher who's converted 7 of 8 saves, coupled since returning from the injured list. See a little bit of a trouble with walks, has not had that trouble since returning.
Now playing left and batting 9, number 12.
Chris Owings is going to take over in left field, so hopefully we'll not have to have a bottom of the 9th inning. Hopefully Scott Oberg will be able to get through this one quickly, and the Rockies will be able to say hello to the win column for their second straight win. With the double switch just in case. There's a pitch low, 2-0. Yeah, Oberg in his 2 appearances since returning from the injured list has worked quick 1, 2, 3 innings. That was certainly good to see. Picked up a couple saves. Tyler Kinley certainly did a good job filling in the interim. There's a swing and a foul. Now into setup duties is Tyler Kinley, and Rockies can feel assured that they have a guy who can take over whenever Oberg needs to miss a day. Swinging a ground ball foul. Count evens at 2. Jacob Stallings getting his first shot at everyday catching duties for the Pirates this year. 2-2 pitch is swung on and hit in the air towards right field. It's a long run for Blackman. He'll get there to make the catch, and that's out number 1. Luke Maley will bat. He's 0 for 3, flied out his last time up. That was in the 7th inning. 191 average, 308 on base percentage, 544 OPS for the backup catcher, today's first baseman for the Pirates. First pitch is in there for a called strike from Oberg. The 0-1 from Oberg is swung on and missed, quickly 0-2.
I got to count 0-2.
And Oberg into his motion. Kicks and fires, inside, ball 1. Oberg with the 1-2. Swung on and chopped foul. Maley is staying alive. Just a base runner would bring the tying run to the plate for the Pirates. 6-4 Rockies. There's a swing and a line drive towards left center field. That ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Maley will cruise into second base. Not a whole lot of speed for him. That is a 1-out double here in the top of the 9th, and the tying run will indeed come to the plate. Second double of the year. Pitcher spot is due up. You can see JT Riddle, Jose Ozuna, Gerard Dyson, Jason Martin, Eric Gonzalez all on the bench for the Pirates. Guillermo Heredia must be on the injured list right now. Same for Josh Bell. Jose Ozuna will pinch hit, 267, 5 home runs, 14 driven in. He has a 342 on base percentage, and he is who the Pirates will go with. He represents the potential tying run at the plate against Scott Oberg. And the first pitch is inside, ball one. It's in there for a called strike. Ozuna only batting .212 on the year with runners in scoring position. Might not be a huge sample for which to speak of, though. That's in the dirt, and a hitter's count now. The 2-1. That's in there for a called strike. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted in the air towards right field. Blackman's going back on this one. He's got it in range. He'll make the catch. Maley will stay put at second base, and that's out number 2. So Oberg just needs one more out to put a capper on this one.
The second baseman,
Kevin Newman will be the batter. 2 for 4 double, single run scored in this one. Pretty good numbers for him, 846 OPS. Still does represent the potential tying run, so it could tie it with one swing of the bat. Also could be the end of the ball game with one swing of the bat. First pitch high and tight, ball one. Newman is batting .300 with runners in scoring position this season. Oberg comes set as 1-0. Is swung on and fouled back to the screen. One is swung on and missed, and now the Pirates are down to their final strike. That one's in the dirt. That's going to kick away from Diaz, and advancing up to third base on the wild pitch is Luke Maley. One more time, a 2-2 pitch from Oberg is way inside, and the count goes full. Adam Frazier has a really good year going. He's waiting on deck. And Oberg has not walked a batter since returning from the injured list in his 2 appearances. A fractured right wrist did Oberg. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's swung on and fouled out of play. And swinging a foul out of play. That one was up in the zone. Newman staying alive, swinging at that one. Oberg undoubtedly trying to induce a swing and a miss. And here's a swing and a miss. He got him on strikes, and that is your ball game. Evan Grills has made 3 major league starts, and he has 3 major league wins. Oberg has picked up 3 saves in a row since returning from the injured list. And the Rockies offense does just enough to give them a second straight victory and a good start to this series against the Pirates. The first place Pirates, I might add. So, Grills 3-0. Keller drops to 3-7. Oberg with his 8th save. Pirates at 4 runs on 9 hits with 1 error. Rockies 6 runs on 11 hits, and they make 1 error as well. Player of the game is Trevor Story. He goes 1 for 4 with a double and 2 runs batted in. Evan Grills today, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 strikeouts, 4 runs, 1 walk. It is the roughest outing of his career so far, but certainly a lot to like about Evan Grills. Mitch Keller in the loss, 4 innings, 5 runs on 7 hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Scott Oberg allows a hit, but also strikes out a batter in his scoreless 9th inning for the save. On offense for the Pirates, Colin Moran goes 1 for 4 with a 3-run home run. Brian Reynolds 2 for 3 with a run batted in. Kevin Newman 2 for 5, a double and run scored. Cole Tucker 2 for 4. Trevor Story was your player of the game. Garrett Hampson a couple more hits to get his batting average above the 300 mark. 2 for 4 with a double and 2 runs scored. David Dahl and Daniel Murphy both had good days today, and that is good to see. Dahl went 2 for 3 with a double and run batted in. Daniel Murphy 2 for 4 with a home run. Well, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week. 6-4 Rockies is your final.